and please welcome Helen Perrottet. To deliver an acknowledgement of country, please welcome the Liberal candidate for Holsworthy, Tina Ayed.
I acknowledge and pay my respects to the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today, the Darug, Gandangara and Tharul Aboriginal people. On behalf of everyone gathered today, I extend my respect to elders past, present and emerging. I also acknowledge Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people joining us today. Please be upstanding for the national anthem, which will be sung by Sophie Dallasay.
Australians, so let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for all. Our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you, Sophie. You may be seated. Hello and welcome, fellow Liberals. I'm Tina Ayed, your Liberal candidate for Holsworthy, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all here to our local community. I'm a mum, a former Liverpool councillor and Deputy Mayor, and I'm putting my hand up to be part of Dominic Perrottet's Liberal team, so we can keep New South Wales moving forward. The future of Sydney is right here on our doorstep, and we need a government with a long-term plan to support families, to build the infrastructure for the future, including the metros, and to invest in the services nurses, teachers and doctors our community rely upon. Like all families, across our state, mine understands that these are difficult times. We're facing an uncertain economic future. We're feeling the pressure of interest rate rises, and this means you need a government with a long-term plan. You need a leader who knows his policies and who can tell you how he'll pay for them. Yes. Hear, hear. If you don't have these things, New South Wales will stall and go backwards. And that means communities like mine will miss out. The Liberals' strong economic management has meant investment right here to support our community and investment right across the state. Locally, the Perrottet Liberal government has delivered community infrastructure, including a $21.8 million contribution towards the Moorebank Aquatic Centre, and new roads, rail and bus networks to help you move around more easily. And we're building the Sydney Metro City and Southwest. For the next 13 days, I'm going to spend every waking moment listening to my community and sharing our long-term plan to keep New South Wales moving forward. Because the choice is very clear. It's a choice between Chris Minns and Labor, who haven't done the work, who can't explain their policies, and can't tell you how they'll pay for anything. Meaning you'll pay more. Dominic Perrottet and our Liberal team, the team with a plan, the team with the energy and the team with the experience, the team with the leadership to drive our great state forward. On the 25th of March, back our long-term plan, back Dominic Perrottet, and together, let's keep New South Wales moving forward.
Global events mean we face an uncertain economic future. Strong economic management is essential to everything a government does. It's how we'll create jobs, fund hospitals, schools and infrastructure, and reduce pressure on household budgets. If you don't have a detailed plan and you can't say how you'll pay for anything, our state will stall. Only my team have the long-term plan and experience. So back my plan to keep New South Wales moving forward.
Chris Minns and Labor say they are ready to govern New South Wales, but what do you really see when you scratch the surface? You see that Chris Minns and Labor don't have a long-term plan for New South Wales. You see that Chris Minns doesn't have the experience to manage our changing economy. And you see that Chris Minns can't provide the detail or how he'll pay for anything. In these difficult economic times, Chris Minns just doesn't come up to scratch. So don't let New South Wales stall under Labor.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Deputy Leader of the Liberal Party and Treasurer of New South Wales, Matt Keane.
Mr. and Mrs. Howard, colleagues, friends, let me paint you a picture. It's a scary one. Premier Chris Minns sitting in his newly furnished Macquarie Street office, day one of the job. He's applied an extra dose of gel to the hair, and let's face it, I'm so jealous. He's got Akka Daka playing over the speakers, and he's got a big red phone sitting on his desk. The phone rings and Premier Minns picks up. Good morning, Mr. Classens. What rail line should we strike on today? But before the Union Secretary can give his minion his marching orders, Minns gets another incoming call. And wouldn't you know it, it's the gaming lobby. Oh, sorry, Mr. Classens, I've got to take this one. Hello, sir. What changes would you like for your pokies policy today? But before they can speak, yet another incoming call buzzes. I'm sorry, I've got to take this. It's Cooma Correction Facility. Eddie, Ian, comrades, how's the bunk bed? What's that about an Aldi bag? Now don't laugh. A Minns government could be the reality for New South Wales in just 2 weeks' time. Chris Minns is a man beholden to the unions and bends over backwards for the gaming lobby, and the leader of a party who its own members admit has not cleaned up its act since the days when Eddie Obeid ran New South Wales. There is no greater threat to our state and its economy than Chris Minns. And let me explain how I know why. You see, I sit across the chamber from Chris Minns in the Parliament, and I see a man who is out of his depth. He's vying to be the Premier of an economy worth $770 billion, the largest in the nation. Yet when it comes to financial management, what are his credentials? He's never run a business, he's never been a minister, and he's never been in government. But I have to admit, it's not true to say that he has no experience managing a budget. In fact, he has had practice managing 2 budgets in his time. The first was on Hurstville Council. As a wide-eyed, bushy-tailed young councillor, Chris Minns scoured the global economy for promising investments. And where did he put the funds of the hard-working ratepayers of Hurstville? The American subprime mortgage market and the Lehman Brothers Investment Bank. And he wasn't just sitting on the council watching this happen, he was moving motions. Under his watch, they lost millions of dollars overnight. But despite the wipeout, I imagine Chris was okay telling himself that, at least at the end of the day, it's not my money. Now, we all deserve a second chance, though, and recently, Minns had a shot at redemption when he was invited to run the finances of a small charity. Guess what happened? He promptly lost half their funds. Now, I have to stop there and say, even that is impressive. It takes real talent to destroy wealth that quickly, even by Labor standards. Now, I'm sure Chris was thinking to himself once again, at least it's not my money. And if Chris Minns becomes Premier, it won't be his money on the line, it'll be yours. Now, as the Premier likes to say, past performance is the best indicator of future performance. And every time he gets the chance, Chris Minns, to run a budget, he runs it into the ground. He couldn't manage the finances of a small council. He couldn't manage the finances of a small charity. So what hope has he got managing the finances of the largest state economy in the nation? Now maybe finance just isn't his strong suit. Not everyone can be a financial wizard. Maybe Chris Minns is a policy wonk. So let's look at his policy record. When he was a fresh MP, he had a policy to reduce union power in the Labor Party. Now, under his watch, the unions are more empowered than ever. When he was Chief of Staff to Corrections Minister John Robertson, his policy was to privatise Parklea Prison. Now he claims to be an anti-privatisation crusader. When he worked as an advisor to Transport Minister Carl Scully, he was the architect of Sydney's toll road system. Now he's the toughest critic of his own handiwork. Today, the only policies he has are written in 140 characters or less, usually accompanied by a selfie, and always beginning with the word I. So let's take a closer look at what those policies are. Abolishing the wages cap, blowing an $8.6 billion black hole in our finances, and saddling our children with the burden of intergenerational debt. Cancelling key infrastructure projects that the people of our state are counting on to grow our economy and make their lives better. Cutting energy bill rebates for more than 1 million families across New South Wales, forcing them to wait 7 years for relief under their so-called energy policy. People need help now and Labor can't deliver it. Handing the pen on the state's pokies policy to the gambling industry in what amounts to a betrayal of every family in our state that has suffered through gambling addiction. Chris Minns will say anything, he'll suck up to any vested interest if it will get himself ahead. Never have I seen a leader with so much ambition for himself and so little ambition for our states. There's a reason that every time he ran in a ballot for the leadership of the Labor Party, the membership and his closest colleagues chose someone else. They even thought that Michael Daly looked like a better option. And that should tell you everything you need to know. They knew that Chris Minns is a risk to the budget, a risk to economy, and a risk to New South Wales. And that's why our state needs a re-elected Perrottet government to keep New South Wales moving forward. Thank you very much.
There are challenges ahead, so New South Wales needs a real plan to keep moving forward, with the leadership and experience to deliver it. Our long-term plan will grow our economy and create 200,000 secure and well-paid jobs, build the schools, hospitals and infrastructure for the future, and deliver rebates to small businesses. Our plan will reduce pressure on household budgets, is fully costed and funded, and will be delivered with no new taxes. So back our plan to keep New South Wales moving forward.
Chris Minns and Labor say they have a plan to run New South Wales, but it just doesn't stack up. His plan for housing misses key parts of New South Wales. Minns says he has a plan for health, but can't say how he'll pay for it. His plan for transport is to cancel projects, not to build vital infrastructure. And Chris Minns says he has a plan to reduce your cost of living, but won't say how. When it comes to a stronger New South Wales, Labor just doesn't stack up. Don't let New South Wales stall under Labor. The Liberals have built the vital infrastructure to move New South Wales forward, but Chris Minns will cancel future projects. And with an $11 billion budget hole, Labor have no plans to build for the future. Don't let New South Wales stall under Labor.
Ladies and gentlemen, to introduce the Premier, please welcome Helen Perrottet.
Good morning. I'm here today to introduce you all to a man I'm very proud of. And I'm going to tell you why. He is the man I see up before dawn every day, checking the headlines, solving the big issues like where Wilsey's missing shoe is or why Amelia has peanut butter on her toast instead of Vegemite. He is the man who, for the last decade, has sat up through the night with 7 babies. Not all at once, but sometimes with more than one. He's the man I see building Lego ships, kissing bruises on little chubby legs, and spending his weekends ferrying kids around all day long to sporting events. Dom Perrottet is first and foremost a dedicated and loving father. But logistics of looking after many children aside, what I suspect a few of you may agree with me on is Dom's leadership. He's a big ideas man. He makes tough decisions, he has humility, and he faces up to mistakes he's made. But most importantly, he is a man who cares. Dom takes the time, not just to listen to people, but to hear what people say. He stands up for people who don't have a voice to speak up for themselves. To be a great leader, you need to be a good human first, and you need to have vision to bring change and to better society. And I know nobody who is more passionate and driven to make New South Wales a better place than Dom Perrottet. Today, there is a lot of attention on the achievements of this great government. But my proudest moments over the last decade haven't been the big projects. It's been the countless ways that I've seen Dom fight for the people in New South Wales who don't have a voice. It's been the compassion he's shown to flood victims. It's spending weeks on end with people who have lost everything and giving everything he has to make sure that they can get back on their feet. It was the stance that Dom has taken to fight for people crushed by gambling addictions. It's the practical support. It's the practical support he's introduced for mothers caring for newborns, and the miscarriage leave he's secured for grieving parents. Dom has revolutionised support for raising and educating children in this state. As the architect of creative kids, active kids and back to school vouchers, there are children out there who are now able to swim, play a guitar and wear new school shoes for the very first time because of the initiatives of this government. And that's why I know Dom is going to make sure that New South Wales is a state where no one gets left behind. And a state where every child and every family is prepared and supported for whatever our future holds. He is driven to make New South Wales a better place for the next generation, because securing the future for every family and every child in this state is at the heart of everything he does. It's an uncertain time for many families in New South Wales, so we need a leader who will listen. We need a leader who can get outcomes, and what I think the families in New South Wales want more than anything is hope. And there is one man I know who can deliver it.
What do you want for breakfast?
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of hard work. It's noisy. But probably the best thing is seeing all the kids look after each other.
The best thing in the morning is watching the kids come out one by one. All the little personalities like they're coming out on the stage. Like chips.
Chaos, yeah.
That's yours.
That goes biggie and then Charlotte there. Oh, downstairs. Downstairs. Another day. Yeah. Absolutely driven to make a difference.
Challenges and difficulties along the way.
I've never seen him stop.
He never ever stops.
Resilient.
Driven.
Well, I was treasured for most of that time. I never forget seeing those queues outside Centrelink. I've never seen anything like that in my life. You know, the team worked tirelessly with Glad and with Brad, Victor. My job during that period of time was to keep people going in staying in jobs and keeping businesses open. Every job loss weighed on me. But I think other things over the last year with the floods, that was a really difficult time. But what I witnessed and saw up there, particularly in the Northern Rivers, will stay with me for the rest of my life. And it was just that generosity, that selflessness. It's sometimes through the most difficult times that you see the best in people. And that's what we saw there.
Less than 3 weeks away from the state election. The campaign is still on. It is our Premier, Dominic Perrottet.
and to lead New South Wales.
Thank you, everyone, and can I thank Helen for that lovely introduction? Helen, you are the most amazing, caring, and beautiful person in the world, and you're incredibly supportive of me and everything I do. You are my rock, and I love you so very much. Can I thank my children? Charlotte, Amelia, Annabelle, William, Harriet, Beatrice, and Celeste. I love you all. Particularly, I want to acknowledge and call out today Annabelle, who turns 9 today. Who turns 9. And there's no place she would rather be than at a Liberal Party launch. Can I acknowledge former Prime Minister John Howard? It is great to see John and Jeanette here today. John is the reason I joined the Liberal Party many years ago, and he's inspired an entire generation of Liberals. John is a giant of our nation's political history, and he is the greatest example of how Liberal leadership leaves a legacy of opportunity and prosperity in this country. Can I thank the Deputy Premier, Paul Toole, the leader of the National Party, our country cousins. Paul and I go back a long way, and it's been an absolute honour, mate, to work alongside you over the past few years, fighting for regional New South Wales, particularly in some very difficult times. I've never seen someone be in more places in such a short period of time than Paul, and I've never met a more passionate champion for regional New South Wales. I believe that rural and regional New South Wales is so much stronger under the leadership of the Nationals. I also want to acknowledge all the members of my team who are here today and have the plan to take New South Wales forward. Well, it's wonderful to be here among friends in the best city, in the best state, in the best country in the world. Twelve years ago, the people of New South Wales faced a choice, and they chose a Liberals and Nationals that vowed to rebuild our state and make New South Wales #1 again. Today, I stand here as Premier, of a Liberals and Nationals government that has kept those promises. In our time in government, we haven't stopped or wasted a minute in transforming our entire state. The biggest state building program since Federation. Nearly $200 billion of projects built so far. Delivered at pace, delivered at scale. Helping to keep our economy resilient and unemployment at record lows. Our record is etched in the skylines of our cities and regions for all to see. More importantly, our confidence is back, and people are once again proud to say they come from New South Wales. It is light years away from the dark days of that last Labor government when New South Wales was in terminal decline and nothing got built. Now, right here in Sydney's growing southwest, Labor promised that rail link back in 2005. But in a few short years, they axed it because they didn't have the vision of what southwest Sydney would become and what the future of southwest Sydney would need. The Liberals and the Nationals got in and built it in less than one term of government and $300 million under budget. That is a story that resonates in every corner of our state. Now, friends, standing here today after our Liberal transformation, it is the undisputed truth that New South Wales is a much better place today than it was 12 years ago. And I am proud to say that it is Liberal values that made that possible. Financial discipline, doing things differently, leading with conviction, and a long-term economic plan to keep New South Wales moving forward, a plan that has delivered real results for families and for communities. And all of this, in spite of a Labor Party opposing every positive reform. A Labor Party that would have New South Wales stall and go backwards. Friends, what unites us as a party is a relentless determination to meet the needs and aspirations of Middle Australia. This is when I believe, as a party, we are as strongest. We are not simply the clean-up crew for Labor's financial mess. Every day in office, we have proposed our own visionary agenda to get our state, to get our people ahead, and we have delivered in spades. And all of this at a time when families and households in New South Wales and right around the country face an uncertain economic outlook. Inflation is rising. Countries across the globe are facing recession. Businesses are worried and jobs are at risk. Just last week, the Reserve Bank increased interest rates for the 10th consecutive time. Now, what does that mean for families with an average mortgage? That's monthly repayments will be $1,500 higher than they were a year ago. Labor has no plan to navigate these headwinds, and their lack of economic discipline will only make things worse. That won't just make things harder for families today, it will erode future opportunities for their children too. And friends, that is what is at stake. And let me be clear, we enter this race as the underdog. But just like in 2011, the people of New South Wales now face a choice: to go backwards under Labor or to keep New South Wales heading in the right direction re-electing a Liberals and Nationals government with experience with the experience, with the energy, with the ideas and the conviction and an economic plan to secure our future. Now, my friends, in uncertain times like these, experience matters. Now, when I handed down 5 budgets as Treasurer of the State, in good times and in hard times, the fundamentals of good government were made perfectly clear. That responsible financial and economic management makes everything else possible. Only that financial and economic management could have carried our people through fires and floods and delivered investment in health that made New South Wales the gold standard in the pandemic and secured the lowest unemployment rate in our state's history and funded and built the metros and the motorways, 213 schools and 180 hospitals and health facilities, light rails, museums, bridges and stadiums. Only the Liberals' strong economic management could deliver the active kids, creative kids and back to school vouchers and $250 off your energy bill. And we've done all of that whilst also being the only state in the country with 2 AAA credit ratings. Only the Liberals have a long-term economic plan that will grow our economy and create jobs now and into the future, including 100,000 jobs here in Western and Southwest Sydney. It's why only the Liberals can commit to no new taxes and more freedom for you to decide how you spend the money that you earn. It's why only the Liberals can keep building for our future, growing the value of our public assets that we own and creating more jobs and opportunities for generations to come. And it is why only the Liberals can keep reducing pressure on household budgets and $7.2 billion in cost of living relief for households across New South Wales. My friends, securing our future depends on solid financial foundations. But fulfilling our state's future potential will take much, much more than that. Our people expect more. Our state deserves more. And we will deliver more. Now, some people look at the status quo and think, well, that's just the way things are. But I look at the way things are, and I think, why can't we do things differently? And that's what we're offering the people of New South Wales. Practical new solutions to common problems that families face each and every day. When the GP appointments for your kids are impossible to get, we need to make it easier. And that's why we're allowing pharmacists to deliver more services so they are there where and when you need them. We're getting rid of stamp duty for first home buyers so they can save for a deposit faster and buy their first home sooner. We're providing a full year of free preschool for every child in New South Wales, setting them up for their future success. And we're rolling out flexible school hours with convenient options for care on school premises, taking pressure off families working hard to get ahead. Because friends, it is only the Liberals that have a plan to future-proof education for our children. Cleaning up the curriculum and getting back to basics and building modern learning environments to set up our kids for success. Now, whilst in office, Labor closed 90 schools. We have built and upgraded more than double that number. Double. And today I can announce a re-elected Liberals and Nationals government will invest an additional $1.2 billion to deliver hundreds more new and upgraded public schools right across our state. This new funding commitment will deliver major upgrades at Winston Hills, Clavelli Primary Schools, as well as new high schools in the Southwest Growth Area and at Jordan Springs. Because we believe, as Liberals, that the children of our state should have access to the best schools and the best education no matter where they live. And we have listened to the families in Western and Southwest Sydney who know education is the key that unlocks unlimited opportunity. And that's why we've already announced 2 new selective schools for Western Sydney, one at Westmead and one not far from here at Leppington. Yes, at Leppington. And today I can announce a 3rd selective school in Box Hill, a new pathway to opportunity. A new pathway to opportunity that only a Liberals and Nationals government will deliver for the aspirational families of our growing West. Now, friends, there is another challenge that I want my government to help solve, which is very close to my heart. Another step to the better future that we can all imagine. It has been said that having a child is to forever decide to have a piece of your heart go walking around outside your body. I know that every single parent here today and across the state shares one thing in common, and that is that from the moment our children are born, we worry about them and would constantly do anything to ensure that they have a better opportunity than we have. Our country takes care of the financial security of older generations in retirement through the super system, and that is a good thing. But how do we set up our young people with a firm financial foundation to begin their lives? Right now, it's the opposite. We burden our children with HECS and housing debt before they even start. I say we must pass on to our kids the gift of opportunity. So today, I can announce a re-elected Liberals and Nationals government will make the most significant financial security investment in our state's history. Starting this year, for every child in New South Wales, aged 10 and under, and continuing with every newborn child, we will create an individual New South Wales Kids Future Fund account. This account will help set our kids up for life by giving them a head start on the 2 most important things they need to secure their future: buying a home and acquiring the skills and education they will need to succeed in a globally competitive and changing world. And this is how we'll do it. We will seed each child's account with a deposit of $400 from the New South Wales government. Parents and carers can make contributions as well each year. And to support parents' aspirations for their children, we will make a matched contribution of up to $400 every year too. With that $400 matched contribution, each child's account will grow to $28,000 by the time they turn 18. And with additional family contributions, each child's account could grow to up to $49,000. When a child turns 18, they can use those funds to put towards the cost of education and housing, a powerful head start on the path to success. Friends, this investment will change the lives of millions of children across our state forever. Forever. It will give a new generation the financial foundation to secure their future. And as they go on to invest in education and housing, they will repay our investment many times over. Because imagine right now what you may have done with a $28,000 nest egg to get you started in life. Imagine what that will mean for your children and the peace of mind you will have as a parent, knowing that our state is as invested as you are in the success of your kids. This policy is a down payment to secure the future dreams of our children. And importantly, it furthers the central mission of our Liberal Party, to spread equality of opportunity far and wide. It bridges the gap of intergenerational equity, and it honours the great social contract envisioned by Edmund Burke that we as custodians of the conservative tradition must always honour. And that is that partnership between those who are living, those who have gone before, and those who are yet to come. That conservative philosophy is all about cherishing the opportunities handed down to us and building them for our children and their children and their children, and that's what this policy will do. Friends, vision is so important, and so are values. And one of the most important values for any good government is conviction. Conviction is the key to doing what is right, not what is easy. And it is conviction that compels you to stand up for those who don't have a voice. I want to share you a story about Amanda. Amanda is a young woman who wrote to me about pokey reforms a few weeks ago. And here's what she said. I had to let you know how important this truly is, coming from someone who has been an addict for over a decade. I'm only 35. I've been in rehab twice. I've spent thousands upon thousands in those bloody machines, and the time I was happiest most in life was when there were lockdowns. I don't know if you truly have any idea the positive outcome this could eventually have. I beg of you that if you win, you fight for this with everything you have. Well, Amanda, I can tell you I will never stop fighting. Never stop. Never stop fighting, because I believe that good government is about looking after the most vulnerable and backing every person in New South Wales to get on their feet and to get ahead. And it is people like Amanda that we will fight for every single day to make their lives better in the great state of ours. And we do that Because that is at the heart of the party we are, and it will always be at the heart of the government that I lead. Now, let me just stop, and I want to say this. For me, politics isn't a job. It's not a career. It's a vocation. You go into politics to do what is right and to do what is good. You get a chance, when you get a chance to make a change like this, it comes along once in a generation. And when it comes along, you seize it. And you seize it because you know it will change lives of families right across New South Wales. And to Amanda, my team will fight for you every day because that's what we do as Liberals and Nationals in this state. Friends, in just over a year since becoming Premier, I've led a team that has delivered some of the biggest reforms, not just of this government, but in generations. And we have the future plan to keep transforming this state. Picture a new international airport open and running, surrounded by new industries, new jobs, new homes and new communities. Picture new metros running through our CBD and gleaming new hospitals in Bathurst, in Liverpool, Rouse Hill, Cowra, Randwick and Tweed. Picture 5 new motorways opened in just the next 5 years. Picture our major regional highways fully upgraded with major new landmarks like the Powerhouse and the fish markets open to the world. Imagine getting fast, convenient care at new urgent care clinics. Imagine buying a first home and then also having the choice to never pay stamp duty again in your entire life. Imagine how much your children will thrive with an additional free year of school at the start of their lives. And imagine your children starting life with a long-term savings account. Isn't that the future? Isn't that the future we want for New South Wales? Because that is the future that we can deliver. Friends, the choice at this election could not be clearer. Forwards or backwards, people or politics, new ideas or no ideas, Liberal progress or Labor protest, Liberal security or Labor uncertainty, Liberal action or Labor excuses. This election is about who do you trust to manage the economy and secure your financial future for you and your family. And friends, we have come so far, but let's not be satisfied with the great progress that we have already made. We need to keep New South Wales moving forward. We need to keep building. We need to keep creating better jobs and better off families. We need to keep investing in our children's generation to set them up for the success in the New South Wales of tomorrow. Let's choose proven experience and bold thinking. Let's choose conviction, leadership, and strong economic management. Let's choose a long-term plan for an even better future. Now, friends, I'm not fighting this election for myself or for the Liberal Party. I'm fighting this election for the people of New South Wales. Because I believe that we have the experience, the vision, the conviction, and the economic plan that New South Wales needs. So on March 25, let's re-elect a Liberals and Nationals government and let's keep New South Wales moving forward.